Hey guys, it's Jacqueline and welcome back to my speed build in The Sims 4. Today's video is a base game Colonial mansion thingy, but this is part 2 of it. So part 1 I did the build. You can watch that if you want to for some reason. I don't know, I think the exterior is pretty cool. There's no pictures of it really in this video, but like you can watch it if you want to. It's pretty fancy and stuff, and I mean, I will give you fair warning, the voiceover for that build is kind of bad because I just yeah, I ranted a lot. I'm sorry, it's all good now. There will be ranting today, but like not the kind of ranting where it's like, oh, I should be concerned, like the kind of ranting where I tell you entertaining stories and that kind of thing. So, yikes. Anyways, so this is in Willow Creek and we're doing this house for the Spencer Kim Lewis family. So since I'm doing the save file, I'm gonna like not remake the Sims, but edit them, revamp them and stuff because they're just not dressed well right now, and I think we can do better and I want it to be better, so that's what's happening with like the Sims. But in terms of the builds, I'm rebuilding every single lot, I think, because I don't really like any of them. There's a few that I'm considering renovating instead of redoing entirely, but like for the most part I think they'll be entirely rebuilt. In case anybody was like wondering about that, I don't know, I don't think anybody's actually gonna download it, so it's just kind of like a fun project for me, but like, you know, what can you do? Am I right or am I right? Okay, so, yeah, this house, if you can't already tell, very fancy, like, big money, old money, money, ain't it funny, honey, when you get what you need, baby life is a breeze. Sorry, couldn't agree anybody, Kid Crow, I'm really obsessed with that album, I'm sorry. Anyway, they have a lot of money is the point that I'm making here, and I kind of didn't want to do this because I kind of view the Spencer Kim Lewis household as like this kind of like, I mean, I don't know if they're a tight-knit family necessarily, like I think there's some weird dynamics going on with some of them, probably like resenting each other, but like as far as families go, I think they're probably like pretty friendly and like a, you know, just a warm, loving family kind of thing. So it's kind of like, ooh, does this like super cold, fancy interior really fit them well? I don't know, but I'm doing it because I feel like, especially because the outside is like pretty fancy, I feel like it would be weird if I didn't do an inside that was also pretty fancy, if that makes sense. Like, and also, so there's a few rooms in here that I was kind of thinking weren't like their super fancy vibe. Like actually the room that's like, you can kind of see it in the corner of the screen right now, that's like next to the living room, or I think this is the living room, and that room and there's the family room, because it also has like a TV and like couches and stuff. It also has the desk and some stuff for Olivia, I think that's the name of the child, hopefully. So that one I was thinking is more like, you know, where they spend their time and stuff as a family, and this one might be like where they entertain. I don't know, but I'll explain the storyline kind of like for who owns the house and why it is so fancy, because like I said, I don't know that this really fits their family dynamic very well. But basically what I was thinking, and I don't know if this is like how the storyline was supposed to go or not, but I was thinking that so Vivian Lewis, I believe is her name, she like owned this house originally. It was like she's probably an heir to some kind of fortune or something, right? So this was her house and she owned it. Then she had her kid, right? So Eric grew up here. Then Eric married Eric married Alice, and then Alice and Eric decided to move into this house because Vivian was like super lonely, right? And she was like, yo, I like come move in with me because I'm so sad, and like I don't, you know, like Eric moved out when he was a young adult and whatever, and she's just like this widower living alone in this huge mansion, and she's just sad, and she has all the material items in the world, but like Vivian seems like a very bubbly, like happy soul to me, you know? So I feel like it doesn't fit her to be living alone, even if she like lives in this fancy place, because I think it kind of fits her to live in a fancy place like this. Like she seems like a pretty classy lady in my book, so I think it makes sense for her to live in a really fancy place, but I don't think it makes sense for her to live with like nobody else, you know? So she was like, yo, please come live with me because I like don't want to be alone. Yeah, so then they like moved in with her, and then they had Olivia while they were living here, so then it's just like this sort of family thing. And then I assume that what happened, because Dennis Kim is Alice's father. Sorry, if you're not familiar with the storyline or like the family tree at all, it's one of the most confusing storylines or like family trees I've ever seen. Basically, I guess just to debrief. So there's Alice and Eric, right? Alice and Eric, and they got married and they had a kid named Olivia. Then Vivian is Eric's mom and Dennis is Alice's dad, and they all live in this house together. But like Vivian and Dennis are not together, obviously, because that would be kind of, I don't think they're like, yeah, that no. Anyways, so basically that's like the family tree if you weren't familiar with it. So the point that I'm making is that then Dennis probably like got too old to live by himself or something like that, so then he lives with them now as well. They all just live in this house together, and it's like a really big, I don't know, like it's like Full House or something, you know, where there's like always people moving in. It's a very like open kind of environment, except it's a huge house also. So like they're rich, so there's that as well. But yeah, I kind of think Vivian is like the money one, and everybody else maybe like they're not crazy rich, so like it probably wouldn't, like they wouldn't live in a house like this if they were living on themselves on their own. But since they live with Vivian, they live in this big fancy house. That's what's going on there. And I also thought like Vivian again strikes me as like a super nice kind of like warm type of lady, so I think that she like entertains a lot and hosts a lot of like parties and that kind of thing. So I try to make like a lot of living spaces in here, or like, you know, areas where you could entertain people, if that makes sense. So that is basically like the storyline, I guess. And also none of them start out with careers in the game. I don't know what that's about. Literally they live, I mean, to be fair, their original house, it's like this disgusting modern thing I hated a lot, but it's not like this at all. So that's what they start out with. I guess it doesn't look as fancy. By the way, this comes out to like 400,000 simoleons, and I don't know what's wrong with me, but like it's a nice house, right? Kind of. So they don't originally live in something that's like this fancy, but they do live in something pretty fancy and like pretty expensive, and none of them have jobs, and that's just an oversight on the Sims part. So I mean, what's new, right? But yeah, anyways, I put some pictures of the outside of this on Twitter, and I didn't know at the time of recording the voiceover for the last part that anybody was gonna like them. People did like them, so that was fun. I don't know, sometimes I just like feel the love from the community, and it's like, wow, like people don't hate me, you know? Magical, isn't it? But I don't know, I really appreciate it sometimes, because like, listen, okay, I have this weird thing where I kind of feel like I'm not really a part of the sim community. I imagine a lot of people feel this way, because there's like specific accounts that are like the accounts, you know, like, I don't know, they're kind of like a clique. It's kind of like high school, but not really, because none of them are mean or anything. Like, they'll talk to you, of course, and all that stuff, but like they're all friends with each other and stuff, and like everybody also everybody makes friends, and there's like this specific group of people that all, this is gonna, see, I overanalyze stuff too much, but there's this specific group of people that all like comment on each other's videos and stuff, right? And so I'm really bad, by the way, about like commenting on other people's videos. I watch other people's videos a fair amount, I want to say, but I don't really comment all that often on them. So yeah, maybe that's just like they don't comment on my videos because they're not reciprocating something, because I'm not like doing it in the first place, if that makes sense. But like they all comment on each other's videos all the time, right? And then none of them ever comment on my videos, so I'm kind of like, oh, how sad. They don't like me, and they're all just like a group of people, right? And the thing is, usually I wouldn't like be like, oh, that's sad, you know, about that. But it's just that, like, first of all, I've been in like collabs with a bunch of these people, and also I have like, I started out at the same time as them, if that makes sense, or like honestly probably earlier than a lot of them. We grow at a snail's pace over here on my channel. But the point is that, like, I don't know, I just, usually I kind of feel like a bit of an outcast in the community, you know, like I feel like I don't really have a group, and a lot of people have a group, if that makes sense, which I don't know if that's like the case, or if that's just me being like, oh, I'm so sad and so lonely. But yeah, I didn't feel like that when I put the picture up, and a lot of people liked it, and a lot of people were really nice to me. And someone asked me what game it was, by the way. I thought that was so funny. Somebody, like some random, was like, oh, so nice, what game is this? And I was like, oh my god, because it's like, how do you, I don't know, I mean, obviously, I guess they didn't play The Sims, they didn't realize that it was The Sims, because it's not even like Sims with CC, it's just like The Sims base game. But yeah, it's The Sims 4, shout out to you, random dude. So that was fun. And I also asked, by the way, this is why I mentioned that I put it on Twitter, because I asked for tips on how to like furnish interiors like this, because I was not really sure of the way to go. Like, I did not know the way at all. So I was kind of like, what am I gonna do? Oh boy. But I decided in my brain of brains to do this kind of like super classic style, very colonial. And I don't know, like I said, I kind of feel like this family should have had a bit of a warmer like interior going on, like maybe something Georgian or something, but I don't know if you could do that really with the base game. Like it might not work out so well, if that makes sense. So this is what I decided to go for, and there are a few spaces where, like I said, I kind of feel like it breaks from this super classic style, but this is what I imagine that Vivian likes. Like, this is Vivian's style, and since it's like Vivian's house, it's, you know, all kind of like that. But like, for example, the sunroom, which, by the way, I once got hate for making a sunroom, which is like so mean. That's so mean, okay? Like, how is it worth it? How is it possibly worth it to like comment and be like, oh, that sunroom, terrible, you can't even look at it without squinting because it's so bright? Like, it made me really sad because I love sunrooms. I put them in like a lot of fancy bigger houses. By the way, I don't do bigger houses like this very often, so this was like a beast of a build for me. By the time I got to like the bedrooms, I want to say, I was kind of just like not here for it. I was like, donde está mi will to furnish? Oh, sorry, you guys don't get that joke. If my friends were listening, they would get that joke, but my friends don't know about this channel, thank God. But yeah, I'll explain it, I guess. So I had a friend in middle school. I mean, I still have a friend. She's one of my like best friends, and she's a very nice person. She's very funny. And in middle school, she was like struggling, trademark. And so she had her bio because, okay, so we were in Spanish together, right? We were in this like Spanish class together, and we learned the conversational phrases, which is like the first thing you learn in Spanish class. And so we learned one of those conversational phrases, which is donde está, and it means like where is, right? We didn't understand any like the verb conjugation or anything. We just knew that donde está means where is, okay? And so she was like, donde está mi will to live, okay? And we all thought it was hilarious because we were middle schoolers and like we had no concept of comedy except for like yeah, we were very immature, so like we thought it was really funny, okay? And so then this was her Instagram bio for like 2 years in middle school because all because of this one joke that she made one time in a Spanish class. But yeah, I don't know, she's one of those people. Do you guys know those people that just like somehow funny stuff always seems to happen around them or to them, and they're just a very entertaining person? Yeah, she's one of those people. So like, darn, if only I could be one of those people, right? But yeah, so donde está mi will to furnish. Maybe I should make that my Twitter bio. Do you think anybody would think that was funny? I don't know. See, nobody would get the joke though. It's okay. Anyway, so yeah, I just really was tired of furnishing by the end of this build, but I kept going. I pushed through. Dennis Kim's room was the worst to do, absolutely. It's the last one I did, by the way, and it took up like 5 minutes of the video, which is kind of a lot considering this is a 30-minute build and it was just like a kind of tiny bedroom. Because I was like not sure what to put there at all, because I didn't think of much like personality for him, but since none of them had jobs, like none of them started out with jobs and it made no sense to me, I just decided I would like give them jobs myself. So I'm gonna make Eric a programmer because he had like the programming skill and the video gaming skill. I'm gonna make Alice an artist, of course, because, you know, she's an artsy person, and that's also her inspiration, by the way, or her aspiration is to be an artist. And then also, I think I'm going to give Dennis Kim a job. I'm not sure though. I think Vivian will probably be retired, although Dennis Kim should probably he should be retired, right? Because I said that he moved there because he couldn't live by himself anymore. Yeah, okay, so it'll only be Alice and Eric working, but they all like sustain themselves off of this fortune that Vivian has, okay? That makes sense. What a nice life. So anyway, this is the sunroom I was talking about. I made it for Alice to be her like art studio place, and I think it's really pretty. So if you hate on my sunroom, I'm blocking you. I hope you know that because it really hurt my feelings, okay? This person, just like, that was their main point too. They were like, oh, I can't look at the sunroom, it's too bright. Man, like, just turn it on to a different time of day then. You're not even downloading the house, like, what? Whatever, anyway. Yeah, like I said, I put the pics on Twitter and it was fun. And, oh, speaking of Twitter, by the way, how about that leak, huh? I don't know if I can talk about that yet. Let me look at my, yeah, I can talk about that. Sorry, I had to look at my roadmap of my, like the voiceover topics, because I do that sometimes, occasionally when I'm like really not feeling a voiceover, I'll like write out a bunch of topics to talk about, and like this is so nerdy of me, oh my god. So I have a post-it note, right, and I always make a post-it note and like a list of topics, but sometimes I will literally write out like, not sentence by sentence, but like topic by topic, I'll write them out and like make a little, like put arrows in between them and like make segues and stuff and like figure out how I can like transition between them, right? So this is my transition from talking about the build to talking about the leak, oh my god, about the new potential pack, which is possibly going to be sci-fi, and I might cry because, you know, okay, so here's the thing. The Sims community, if you're not on Twitter, you might not know this, they are like, so nuclear. Like they hate on stuff so fast, and it's kind of frustrating a little bit because, like, I mean, honestly, The Sims doesn't even have a chance anymore. Like, they could put out a stellar pack and people would still immediately hate on it because that's just like the standard EA has set for themselves, I think. Like, I don't think it's our fault necessarily. I think it's kind of EA's fault because, like, they haven't been putting out great packs. I mean, they have been putting out great packs like recently, but it was up until very recently, like, they were not. And I still think it's kind of a money grab. Like, they're pretty expensive, although I'm thinking about it more rationally, and like a lot of other games are kind of more expensive, and like there is a lot of stuff in The Sims, so I don't know, it's kind of debatable. But the point that I'm making is that the Sims community can sometimes be like jumping down people's throats when you don't necessarily have to. Like, you could just say, oh, this isn't my taste, I won't be purchasing that. Which, by the way, if it's a Star Wars pack, I can almost promise you I'm not getting it, and this never happens. Like, I get every single pack. I have no self-control. We've discussed this. But, like, if it's a Star Wars pack, it's a no from me. I'm sorry. So, this pack that they potentially might be making, the Star Wars pack, basically, the whole conspiracy around it started because they leaked a picture, and now there's also, like, debate about whether this picture is even real. Like, people aren't sure if it's an actual leak or something that somebody made. Like, the Country Living leak, when that happened, was fake, I believe, and then obviously we didn't get Country Living, so I'm assuming it was fake. But people are saying this leak might be fake, but I've also seen people say it was like on EA's website and like they checked it themselves and stuff. Like, it wasn't just one news source that reported it, it was like a bunch of people that checked it. So because of that, I feel like it might be kind of real. And basically, I mean, the leak doesn't even tell us what the pack is, though. It's a pack icon, right? Like, you know how each pack will have its little icon with like a little picture, kind of like animated thing about what the pack is about. So it was kind of like, I mean, it's hard to describe, but it's like this really tall, like, peaked mountain cliff thingy, and then like a kind of tall lab looking thing, and then these three, like, I don't know, I thought they were planets. I'll be honest, at first, because I wanted it to be true so badly that it would be like a winter resort kind of pack. I really desperately wanted that. So I thought at first that it was like some kind of like cliff, and you like ski down the cliff, and then there's like a resort, and the like planet thingies were snowflakes. I don't think it is now. And oh, I saw somebody get so aggressive about that, by the way. Someone was like, no, you're wrong, you're just seeing what you want to see. It will be a sci-fi pack, and I will be happy about it, and if you're not happy about it, you can leave. Like, they were so they were so aggressive. I was scared, oh my god. But and that wasn't in response to me, by the way, thank god, because I am a sensitive person, and when people are mean to me on the internet, it really ruins my day. But yeah, so that's fun. Love that for the Sims community, am I right? So basically, the issue that I am discussing here is that it's probably a Star Wars pack, and this is like, honestly, we run a little wild with conspiracy sometimes, because like, we literally just found out that there was possibly going to be a leak, or there was possibly a leak of a pack icon, and we were like, yep, that's it, it's a Star Wars pack, you know? Because people, like, already people on Twitter are running polls of being like, are you excited about the new Star Wars pack? Like, we don't know. We haven't confirmed this, so like, your polls are kind of invalid at the moment, but whatever. So there's that. And yeah, if it turns out to be a Star Wars pack, I don't think I'll be buying it, because I just don't really care about Star Wars, what a mess. Star Wars, and even if I did, like, I don't think I would want it in the game, you know? Like, they're kind of two separate things. We already have, like, Baby Yoda and all the Star Wars costumes and stuff, and it's just like, why? You know? But I have an interesting aside about, like, packs and the Sims community's reception of packs and how they've been critical since the very beginning, because I've been watching recently a bunch of, like, old speed builds, like, from Deligracy and, like, you know, like, James Turner, like, all those people. I don't really watch them anymore, I don't know why, but I have been, like, watching a bunch of their old videos recently for nostalgia's sake, I guess. And I heard somebody, I forget who it was, talking about the backyard stuff, like, which was like the 4th stuff pack, I want to say, right? And they were talking about it, they were complaining about backyard stuff, and I thought this was so funny, because I wasn't even part of the community at this point that, like, backyard stuff came out, right? So these people that were complaining about backyard stuff, I was like, oh my god, it's been around since the beginning, because I think backyard stuff is legitimately like the 4th stuff pack or something. So like, they were, what are we on now, like the 13th stuff pack? They have been against this game for like since the beginning, and I'm not saying that to be like, oh, we love The Sims, like The Sims does everything right, because they don't. They really, like, The Sims has failed on so many levels, and we cannot deny that. But like, the community, this is my case in point today, is that people are literally sending like hate mail to the gurus already, hate Twitter like messages to the gurus for a pack that has not been confirmed. Like, lord. Oh my god. So there's that. Sorry, I just had a really weird like voice spasm, so that's why I sounded like I was laughing. I wasn't really laughing. I was kind of laughing, but it was kind of like one of those like sneeze thingies. So that's what I have to say about that, I guess. I mean, I'll have more opinions if it gets confirmed, but like for now, that's my commentary on the Sims community, and like the problematicness that goes on here sometimes is really a lot. So, anyways, oh, I had something else I wanted to talk about, because I have like 8 minutes of the video left, 9 minutes actually, and yeah, I don't want to start ranting again about how I'm like stressed about my life, because that was what happened in the last video, and oh boy, sorry, I'm much better now, by the way, if you can't already tell. I'm still like kind of stressed, but like we'll figure it out, you know? Just have like a lot of summer assignments and like 2 weeks of videos to make, and it's fine. Everything will be fine. So fine. So what I want to talk about is this comment that I got, because I thought it was really funny, and I tweeted about it, by the way, and I also went back and forth about whether or not I would even want to talk about this, because I have like a family channel thing going on, right? Like it's a family channel, you know? We don't really, I mean, I never swear. Like I don't really swear in real life either, so there's no reason for me to like go out of my way to do it on my YouTube channel. And then I don't know, like what are you going to talk about when you're doing a Sims video that's like not family friendly, right? But I have something to talk about, so it's kind of drug related, so that's the thing. So if you're like 8 or 9 or maybe below there, then click off, or you can stay, but I wouldn't if I don't know. Anyways, the thing we're going to talk about is a comment that I got that wasn't very nice, because it wasn't very nice, but that's okay, because now I just think it's funny. So I'll walk you through the comment first, and then I'll explain like my reaction to it, okay? So I get this comment, and it's on, first of all, this video was like a week old at the time that I got the comment. It was on a this grandparents cluttered apartment video, right? And so I get this comment from this guy, and I was like, oh cool, a comment on a video, you know, because like nothing rare about that necessarily. So I was like, great, I'll look at it when I look at all my other comments, because I just got like the notification, you know, and I was like, okay, I guess I got a comment. So then I was like going through my comments, as I do. I usually do that like every day, sometimes more than once a day, because it's kind of a problem. I think I'm getting kind of addicted to like checking my channel, which is stupid, because don't do that. Like it's not like I get new notifications like constantly, so like it's dumb, because then I set myself up for disappointment, because I'm like, oh god, nobody wants to talk to me, my life is so sad. But anyway, the point is that like I just looked at this comment while I was looking at all of my other comments, okay? And it's this guy named Vince Pub Latte, and he says, oh, beautiful house, keyword, by the way, he says beautiful house on an apartment speed build, so that's issue number 1. But he's like, beautiful house, but it sounded like you snorted it sounded like you snorted 1 line of coke, or 10, in parentheses, or 10, before you started this voiceover. Now, let's break this down, okay? So he says, beautiful house on an apartment speed build. So that's issue number 1, because I'm like, did you watch the video, buddy? I mean, maybe that was just a stupid thing, and he was like getting up his nerve to comment about how I sounded like I was on drugs or something. And so he like forgot that it was technically an apartment speed build and not a house, but like, I don't know. That's my first comment about that. And then my second thing that I have to say is like, you could have just, like, you really could have just said I talk fast, or like I sound scatterbrained, because both of those things are true. I'm not going to deny it, you know, like I talk sometimes problematically fast, not that fast in general. I don't think I talk that fast. I don't know. I've been like thinking about it more lately, because I realized that, well, I get comments like occasionally telling me that I talk fast. Like that's mainly the constructive criticism I get on my videos. Like nobody's ever like, oh, your builds are terrible. They're always like, you talk fast, can you like not do that? And I try, because I don't think I generally talk that fast. Like when I'm talking about the video, or like I'm talking about like Sims stuff, I don't talk that fast. It's just when I get sidetracked, I kind of like try to make my brief storyline or like stories and stuff go quickly, which I don't know why I do that, because like they're not that boring, you know? Like this is an interesting story about a comment from Vince Pub Latte. I shouldn't be talking that fast about it, so we'll talk slower. So he could have just said I talk fast is the main point that I'm making, but instead he feels the need to tell me that I sounded like I snorted not 1 but 10 lines of coke, okay? And that's like, come on. Also, I mentioned I was a teenager, which I don't think this is relevant necessarily, but like I was like, yeah, I'm a teenager, haha. Like in that specific video, I remember mentioning this and like talking about how I was like kind of innocent or something. And then he comments this. The irony is not lost on me, just to be clear. And so that was like weird. I don't know. Because usually, like I said, I get comments, people like telling me that I talk too fast, or like asking me if I can talk slower, or like saying that they like kind of have trouble understanding me, but like not complaining that I talk too fast, right? But I never get comments from people that are like being mean about it, you know? Like nobody's ever mean about it. They're just like, oh, you talk kind of fast, wow, you know? Like, so that's just the issue, you know? And I didn't know how to react to this, because I thought at first, like the first time I read it, I thought it was really funny, right? Because I was like, okay, so this guy, he's sitting there and he's like, how can I tell her that she talks fast? And like, I mean, by fast, by the way, I mean both fast and like kind of, my voiceovers are kind of a mess, because the topic in it, like the topics just flit around a lot. Like I go from topic to topic really fast without really any like segue that makes sense to people, but in my mind something switches and I'm like, wow, I should talk about this now, you know? So I do that. I'll admit it. But this guy, right, felt the need to like say that instead of just saying that I talk fast. So like I don't understand, right? So I thought this was really funny at first. I sent it to my friend, my one friend that knows about my YouTube channel, and I was like, oh my god, look at what this guy just said to me, right? And she thought it was hilarious. And she was like, yeah, he's really like out here doing the most to like tell me that I need to slow down, because why? Just why would you say that, you know? So that's, I don't know, it's not even rude, honestly. Like, I'm not saying that it's mean. Like, honestly, I kind of find it funny, and I don't know if he meant it in a mean way or not. I kind of think he did, because I responded and I was like, oh yeah, you caught me. Like, I was definitely, said something like that. I don't remember exactly what I said, but I was like, haha, you caught me, sarcastically, and he didn't respond to that. So I'm assuming that he like was trying to be mean, and then I wasn't like butthurt about it, and then he was like, oh darn, I failed. But I don't really know. I just thought it was funny because I like, again, we gotta reiterate here, like, small channel, I read every single comment and I never get like mean comments like that, So I was like, what is this? Is a new world and I don't like it. But I didn't even know how to respond, like strange. Anyway, I put it on Twitter too. Everyone on Twitter thought it was really funny because like it is funny, So I was also like briefly saddened by it because I remember vividly sitting down to like record the first voiceover after I got that comment, which, like, by the way, this happened like a week ago at this point, and so yeah, it's water under the bridge. But I, like, the first voiceover I was trying to record after I got this comment, I was sitting down and I was like, oh no, like, I'm gonna talk so fast and people will hate me, and then I was like, wait a minute, I have never worried about this before. Like, I've thought about, like, the fact that I talk and I should, like, probably talk slower, but I've never been, like, worried that people are gonna hate my videos specifically because I talk fast, So, like, Vince Poblate really got into my head here, right? So I don't think I blocked him as a user either. If he wants to, shout out to you if you're watching this. Comment down below. Let me know what you think of this video. Do I also sound like sorry, I'm not gonna say it again. I'm not gonna repeat it. Family channel. We only need to say those words like a few times, But I just, wow. What a guy, Like, what really prompted him to do that? I'm just curious. Like, what made him think that would be like a genuinely good thing to say? And I feel like I'm kind of making a big deal out of this because I know other people are like, oh, so dumb, like, shut up, we don't care about this like guy that told you that, but like I am just fascinated by what went through his head, because I don't understand, like, even if I was gonna like try to be mean to somebody, that would never be the first thing I think of to say to them, Like, I would never be like brainstorming mean things I could say to someone about their voiceover and be like, yes, I've got it, the genius, the perfect solution, and like say that, So that's my story about that. Anyway, we'll probably never mention it again because it's kind of like a weird kind of thing that happened, but it's a story. It's a conversation piece when I'm on my deathbed and I can be like talking about that and like getting revenge on Vince Poblate. What am I saying? Anyway, yeah, I really have nothing else to say, and that I screwed up because the video still has like, oh wait, never mind, we're actually almost done with the video. This worked out so well. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, you can leave a like and comment to let me know. Subscribe and click the bell for notifications if you want to see more videos and get notified every single time that I upload a video. And if you like this build and want to play in it, it will be up in the gallery. My origin ID is in the description. That is all. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.